Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 336. My name is Dan, and I shall be your host once again. So, cheers to you all. Mm. Before we start off, if you do like this type of content, please like and subscribe, tell your friends, hit the little thumbs up and little bell to be notified when I publish new content like this. So this is going to be a third in a series. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a whole series of this here, but when I feel like it and when I get inspiration or memories, I guess, attached to these. So I did this album's which one? Anyway, there was an Iron Maiden one and a Rush one. So today I'm going to be doing an Alice Cooper one. So does the Alice Cooper discography suck after Muscle of Love? Okay, and I'm going to explain myself. Now, I've talked to many people. I started listening to Alice Cooper back in 1989. Well, a little bit before that, but I seriously started listening to, or buying Alice Cooper, I should say, in 1989 when I went and saw my first concert ever, which was Alice Cooper Trashes the World. And then the more you started buying, the more you're like, man, this guy is good. But then you're starting to talk to people in older folks than me at the time, or some even um, my age, okay? And they were like, oh, the only good Alice Cooper was the Alice Cooper Band. So if you're unfamiliar with the story, just really quick, the Alice Cooper Band have 6, 7 albums. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 7 albums, okay? Then the Alice Cooper Band broke up, and then Alice Cooper went solo, okay? But it's all considered the same discography. So a lot of people are like, the only Alice Cooper I listen to is the Alice Cooper Band. When he became solo, don't bother, blah, blah. So we're going to go and look into, does every Alice Cooper album suck after Muscle of Love, which was the last Alice Cooper Band album ever? Yeah, well, to a point. There's been re-recordings here and there, but it's the last Alice Cooper Band album, period, was Muscle of Love. So, we'll go through and there's a lot of albums, guys, so I'm try to go through this quick. I don't want to, everybody should know Alice Cooper's discography by now, but the Alice Cooper Band, which was a band which consisted of Michael Bruce on guitar, Glenn Buxton on guitar, Dennis Dunaway on bass, Neil Smith on drums, and Alice Cooper on vocals. Okay, that was a band. So they came out with their first album, which was Pretties for You. Now, I remember having this discussion with people at work, who shall remain nameless, but they're like, oh, I only listen to Alice Cooper Band. Well, I'm like, seriously, are you going to tell me that this album is better than, let's say, Welcome to My Nightmare or whatever? Well, it grows on you. I'm like, whatever. So this was their first one, Pretties for You. Personally, I never listened to this one. It's basically, I'm using the term loosely for songs. I mean, they're songs, but some of these songs are basically them tuning up, like. So it's interesting. Now, after that came Easy Action, where they're starting to sound more like a band, but there's still some weird stuff going on. Again, do I listen to this one really? There's a few good songs on this, but I never really, when I want to hear some Alice Cooper, these first two are not, this doesn't really sound like Alice Cooper. Then the first Alice Cooper album that most people know would be Love It to Death. Most people think this is their first album, but you know, there's those first two right there. This one had I'm 18 on it. So yeah, this is the first Alice Cooper band which was huge. Okay, at the time, very huge. Okay, now just make sure I put these away. There we go, like this. I gotta go put these back after. Okay, then after that came Killer, one of my favorites actually from Alice. See, I don't call him the whole thing Alice Cooper Band. I just call it Alice Cooper. To me, it's all one whole thing. But this is one of my favorite albums by Alice Cooper, which was Killer. Okay, still Alice Cooper Band. Then came School's Out, another Alice Cooper Band one. Okay, and of course their big one, Billion Dollar Babies, which again was huge at the time. I wasn't aware of them at the time. Well, I was 2 also, or was I 1? I'm just 73 or 70. Of course, you don't see the. I think it was 70. Yes, I was 1. Okay, so I wasn't aware of how big or not big this was. Okay, but then came. 1 sec here. Then came the last album by the Alice Cooper Band, which was Muscle of Love. I do love the packaging on this, okay? Now, after that, they go and break up. So most people, again, they're like, oh yeah, you know what? The Alice Cooper Band is the only thing that matters. Whatever came after this is shit, okay? So, or every album after Muscle of... And that one wasn't that great to begin with. I mean, there's some good songs on Muscle of Love, but let's call a spade a spade. So here is where it becomes interesting. And these are conversations I've had in the past with people here. So, does every Alice Cooper album after Muscle of Love suck? Well, the short answer, no. Okay, there's some great albums. And I know I'm biased. This is my second favorite artist right after Kiss. But I'm just going to try to give a honest of what I think people may like regarding what comes next, okay? So, and I still remember this conversation. I'm like, so comparing Pretties for You, the guy's like, oh yeah, Pretties for You. I'm like, you're going to say that Pretties for You is better than Welcome to My Nightmare? Again, we had this conversation. Well, he wasn't convinced that this was actually a good album. I was like, okay, I mean, to each his own. This is not my favorite Alice Cooper album, but this is considered one of his masterpieces, okay? Even more so than anything from the Alice Cooper group. Again, depends who you ask. But Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare, yeah, it's a great album. Not one of my favorites, but again, I do like it, okay? Now, a lot of people give this one here shit. To me, it's actually my top 5. I do love this album a lot. I love it because of its everything. There's so many different styles on this album. Heaviness, ballads, pop, jazz, whatever. It's all there. I can understand why some people would think that this album does suck compared to the Alice Cooper group. To me, no. But overall, the consensus seems to be that this album is not very strong, okay? Now, this one, I mean, there are some great songs on it, but this one I would have to agree. It's a little bit of the weaker ones of his 70s. He was very mellow on this, but there's still some great songs on this, but there's still some duds on this album also. And of course, if you compare it to anything from the Alice Cooper group, yeah, it's got its moments, this one, okay? Lace and Whiskey. Okay, this one here, and just to make you understand, when I bought, so like I said, I had Raise Your Fist and Yell, and then I bought Trash, and then I went backwards, and not just myself, but my friend concert Steph, and even my friend Yan to a point too. We're like going backwards and getting all this Alice Cooper stuff, and we're like, wow, we're rediscovering old Alice Cooper, but all in one shot. So to us, there was no Alice Cooper band split, then solo stuff. To us, it was all like it was one whole discography. And when this came out, we bought this one from the inside. Man, we friggin' loved it. This is a great concept album. And I remember when I was at work, we were talking to this another guy I worked with who actually liked Alice Cooper band and solo stuff. And he was talking, I remember this conversation. Do you remember that? You know that Alice Cooper went and actually into a nut house and came out with an album. And some managers that were only Alice Cooper band fans were like, well, I never heard of this one. And I was like, okay, so it's a fact that a lot of people liked the Alice Cooper band, but nothing that came afterward. I believe, again, I'm not quoting anything. This is just hearsay and from what I've experienced and all these memories attached. It was all about the Alice Cooper band, except the first two albums. And Welcome to My Nightmare was a passable album, okay? But after that, most people would not realize what is going on. So, but yeah, this to me, this is a great one here. It's got a few rockers, but the whole concept, anyway, the whole album is actually pretty, really cool gimmick here. I do love the packaging on this. If I can see, every time I slide it into my, there you go. See, you know, it's a pretty cool gimmick. I remember when we first heard this, we're like, my God, this is actually great here. So yeah, from the inside, another very good one. Then comes the 80s, and this is where it kind of goes up and down, depending who you ask, okay? So, next up was Flush the Fashion, and my God, at the time, this was 89, 90. So I don't think the remasters, well, definitely not CDs were available, but we were collecting cassettes at the time. This was not easy to find. So when we found it, we're like, first of all, again, this is actually in my top 5 Alice Cooper albums, okay? Even more than a few of those Alice Cooper bands. Yeah, give this one a shot. It's short, pop punk. That's what it's but yeah, I love this album. We all loved this album here in my circle of friends. You ask people who were, I guess maybe they were just they were like general audience where they only liked Alice Cooper because of the hits, because it was the pop. You know, like your general crowd that listens to what's popular at the time. This wasn't that popular compared to the Alice Cooper group, like your Billion Dollar Babies and School's Out era. But yeah, I'll defend Flush to Fashion till I die. Now, next up comes Special Forces. This one I can actually, yeah, understand why some people don't like it. To me, there's some good songs, there's some bad ones. Fun fact, so I've seen a few YouTube episodes where they're like, why was this printed on that album, but the song's not on it? So, interesting tidbit. So this is actually an original copy. I was actually pretty proud to find, because, so here's where it gets interesting. There's a last song right here called Look at You Over There, Ripping the Sawdust from My Teddy Bear, which is not, it's on the sleeve, but it's not on the album. And then when I got the cassette, I'm not even sure if the cassette had anything, but the CD actually has this, but there's a big red bar on top of it, so it was whatever. Anyway, it's on the box set now there, that song there. Fun song. But this one I can understand. Yeah, I get it why you think that this album really sucks. It's not one of my favorites, but I mean, it is what it is. Alice Cooper doesn't even remember making this Flush to Fashion, this one, and the next two he doesn't remember. They call them the blackout albums. So, but there's some good stuff on this, okay? And also, I'm curious to see: are you again, no judgment? Are you all Alice Cooper discography, or are you just pro Alice Cooper group, or are you just Alice Cooper solo? You know, could be that. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Next up, Zipper Catches Skin. Brilliant album cover. I love this album cover. The album's good. There's some good stuff on it. Yeah, I do like this one here. Again, comparable to Alice Cooper Group, not at all. But sometimes you gotta change styles to a point. I mean, these four Blackout albums did not do well at all, from what I heard. Again, I wasn't into Alice Cooper. Now, this is what, 81, 82? 82, yeah. And the next one is 83, which is Data. And I remember us. So again, these four albums were so hard to find back when we were starting to collect Alice Cooper albums. Only your Constrictor and Up Until Trash, which was 3 albums, and the Alice Cooper Group, again, Easy Action up until Billion Dollar Babies. Muscle of Love wasn't easy to find. Welcome to My Nightmare, Go to Hell was easy to find. Not Lace and Whiskey, From the Inside, So. But yeah, it's also what we were able to find at the time. So, but I remember when we found this, and we're like, my God, this is considered one of his worst, if not the worst. Like, even Martin Popoff rates it like a 0, or it's very keyboardy, artsy. But man, you know what? Again, because we grew up buying all of these albums all at once, I didn't have the opportunity to have the evolution of, the Alice Cooper Group, then solo, then his downfall with the Blackouts, then his comeback with Constrictor. I didn't expect that or experience that live, But when we found this, we freaking loved it. My friend who didn't even have a turntable, I remember him, Concert Steph, having this album on vinyl. We freaking loved it. It's funny. Sure, it's very electronic. A great album's a great album. I play this any day before I put Pretties for You or Easy Action. Let me put it that way, okay? Or even Muscle of Love to a point. So yeah, Data. I like the album, but I understand why I'm not going to say true Alice Cooper. True Alice Cooper fans will have everything. The general audience that just want to hear the Alice Cooper Group, yeah, I get it. But again, everything deserves a shot. And of course, I know I'm biased when it comes to Alice Cooper, but me discovering Alice Cooper in 1989 and trying to get his discography backwards was such a fun treasure hunt and experience for myself and my friend Concert Steph. We were huge, and we've seen Alice Cooper, 12 times, 13 times since. I know my friend Steph has seen him a little bit more, but we love him now. Like the whole, to us, it's Alice Cooper is one whole thing. There's no Alice Cooper band and Alice Cooper solo. To us, okay. Now, after Data came out, Alice Cooper he turned himself into some sort of Betty Ford clinic, like he was drunk and on drugs. This was 83. I'm sure it's 83, something like that there. Whatever. You'll have to take my word. Then he was gone for 3 years. People thought he was retired. Like he went away to a point. He did do Monster Dog. That's a movie there, but then he had a comeback when he was first time uh, playing sober for the first time ever. He did the Nightmare Returns and then came out with Constrictor. This was his comeback, which was 1986. So yeah, 3 years later. If my 83 theory is good, I believe it is there. So Alice Cooper, Constrictor was a comeback of sorts. Good album. It's a lot of the give them what they want, horror. Is it original? Not really. Is it good? Yeah, I like it. Very good album. I do prefer this one than Raise Your Fist and Yell, even though this album sounds more like a band, because I believe it was a electronic drum. There was no drummer on that album. But this is the first, I remember buying the cassette of this and liking it because I had seen Freedom, I think, on the Pepsi Power Hour. I'm like, oh my God, that's cool. And that's when because at the time I was just buying Kiss. I didn't want anything to do else with anything else. And I think this was the first time I kind of ventured off by myself and getting something different. So yeah, Raise Your Fist and Yell. This one I can understand. Well, even Constrictor, even though I like it, I get it. Why purists who just like the Alice Cooper group would prefer that. But there's some good stuff, guys. There's some good stuff on everything Alice Cooper has done. But I'll explain myself with a few. Now, this one here is very, very divisive. So Alice Cooper, Trash. When this first came out, I freaking loved it, okay? And it's what... So I bought this, and I had Raise Your Fist and Yell. And I was like, I'm going to go see Alice Cooper live for the first time, my first concert ever. That's what made me go backwards and go and get everything he's ever done. Now, I find this a good hair metal album. Is this the best thing he's ever done? No. Okay. Is this as good as anything the Alice Cooper band has done? No. The Alice Cooper band had original material. This is just what was popular at the time, which was great. This is a great album for what it is. It was a great move. Again, it worked on me, my friends. We all went backwards when Trash came out. Then later on, you're like, okay, Trash is good. It was a good starting point, but it was a great move for me and my friends to discover all this other old stuff. So there you go, Alice Cooper, Trash. Good for what it introduced me to, okay? Do I listen? I mean, I can't stand Poison anymore, even though it's one of his bigger hits and he still plays it live every friggin' show. I understand why he plays it. Is it one of my... if he never plays that song ever again, I'll be okay. But there's some Alice Cooper, like Poison and I'm 18... If I never hear those songs ever again, I'm gonna be okay. It's those songs I'm really tired of hearing. Okay, so there you go. Believe it or not, I can still do Schools Out. I love that song. Okay, but anyway, Trash for what it is. It was great for what it was. Great hair metal album. Is it an Alice Cooper album? I remember actually talking to another guy at work. And he was ashamed. He's seen Alice Cooper like 125 times, he was telling me. And he was ashamed at this album. And I'm like, well, come on, you got to understand, like, for people like me, it was a great way to discover. To me, I think this was a great move for young fans that may know the name but not any songs. Go and discover what he did in the past. Okay, I like this album for what it is. Next up, this one, a lot of people find this album to be bad. I I like this one. Sure, there's a few. It's not as good as Trash. It's like a Trash 2, but with a little bit more horror in it. I do enjoy the song "Hey Stupid," but this was I still remember the song "Wind Up Toy," and at the end goes you hear Steven, and me and my friend Concert Steph were like, "He's back, Steven's back," because we friggin' loved that "Welcome to My Nightmare." Anyway, great one here. I like it. I can understand why people are think it's one of the worst, apparently. Okay. Again, to each his own. As you can see, this is not a ranking. This one here gets... I don't think people actually gave this one a chance. So, The Last Temptation. This was actually the second time we went to see Alice Cooper live. And I friggin' loved this show. Okay? Great set list. I would say the first half of this album is great. The Chris Cornell songs, I'm sorry, they do nothing for me. Like, I'm not... people are like, oh yeah, the Chris Cornell songs are... No, they're not. They're shit. Anyway, to me. But it ends with a great song, let me put it that way. But yeah, Stolen Prayer and Unholy War to me are like, ugh, no. But the first half to me is good old Alice Cooper trying to go... Alice Cooper Band, what I liked about them is they were heavy for the times, but they weren't afraid to use, because of Bob Ezrin also, they weren't afraid to use different instruments here and there, and that album kind of depicts that. Okay, these next two, I'm going to go... So, when I first heard the song Brutal Planet, I was like, oh my god, this is heavy, this is good. But then years go by and you're like, yeah, this did not age very well to me. It was him trying to... Okay. I don't know if you guys saw my me and Jake's Wicked Wonderland by Lita Ford review, or Vince Neil Carved in Stone. At least this one you can hear the guitars, but I'm not making excuses. This is good, but three little dots. To me, this is even worse. And this was actually, me and my friend Concert Steph went all the way to Hamilton. This was, what, 5 hours away-ish? It was probably my least favorite seeing Alice Cooper live. Again, the songs at the time were good. I just don't find Brutal Planet and Dragon Town, which is the continuation of Brutal Planet, apparently. They both sound the same. These two albums really, a little bit like Trash and Hey Stupid, sound the same. Brutal Planet and Dragon Town sound exactly the same. Okay? It was good at the time. Do I still listen to these ones? Very rarely. Okay? To me, it's one of those, it's very gimmicky and for the time, a little bit like Trash, I guess, to a point. But yeah, doesn't do anything for me, that one anymore. Or those two. But there's still some good songs. Every album that he's come out with has some great songs. Okay? Then he comes back with The Eyes of Alice Cooper. Again, in my top 5 Alice Cooper albums. Whether it's Alice Cooper Group or Alice Cooper Solo. Loved this album. This was a return to of what I liked from Alice Cooper, which is just rock, but going into minor little directions and having these... I know I'm one of the rare... I love brass instruments like trumpets or sax or whatever in hard rock. I love it, okay? Especially trumpets. Sax to a point. But yeah, there's so much different... There's some good stuff here. And you gotta hear the song the song that didn't rhyme. I'm just letting you know. Just check it out. It's purposely I the lyrics are what also makes this album great. Anyway, I saw this tour I think maybe twice actually. We went to Toronto and I may have seen it somewhere. I just forget where. But yeah, great. So to me, this was a great comeback after a few little misses with those two. I call them new metal, I guess. I don't know. New metal, whatever. Then after this one, kind of a clone of The Eyes of Alice Cooper, which is Dirty Diamonds. Good album, not as good as The Eyes of Alice Cooper. So this is kind of like two sister albums like Brutal Planet and Dragon Town, Trash and Hey Stupid, Constrictor and Raise Your Fist and Yell. I just realized he kind of does these two albums a lot, actually. So yeah, good, not as good as Eyes of Alice Cooper. Okay, this one here. Okay, Along Came a Spider. You guys probably have a different cover. This is actually friggin' worth a lot of money here. At the time, I loved it. Then I find it's good. It's okay to good. Okay, it's not one of my favorites. Not one of my least favorites either. But man, am I proud of having this version here. Like nobody, I don't know anybody who has this cover. The other one is like his a picture. You kind of see his big nose there. It's a black with his face doing half, like facing a certain way there. It's kind of blue and black there. I like this one better, but it's not great either as a cover there. But it's good. Okay, let's okay, this one, and I know I'm in the minority for this one. Okay, I friggin' love this album. Okay, so Welcome to My Nightmare probably is the last great album that Alice Cooper has done. Yes, it's gimmicky. Yes, it's trying to follow up on the success of Welcome to My Nightmare. And then he came up with Welcome to My Nightmare. So it's Welcome to My Nightmare Part 2. But I friggin' love the songs work. And I liked Welcome to My Nightmare. But if you listen to Welcome to My Nightmare and then this one, it fits so well as a huge concept. I love this album. Not afraid to admit it. A lot of people will have said this one's not that great. It's actually very gimmicky or uninspired. I disagree, but that's me. I freaking love this album. Okay, so Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. Another great one here. Then, and let me say, to me, Alice Cooper has been very steady with his career. Like, he's never released an album like you listen to it once, you're like, I don't want to hear these. Sorry. I think I've been talking a lot here, this one. Yeah, he's never released a dud. Okay? There is always something interesting and fun to listen to on every single album. Okay? This one I found was just good. There's some great songs on this. But to me, it's not nowhere near bad. It's just, if I compare it, because I loved Welcome to My Nightmare so much, this one was a little bit disappointing. Again, it's good, not great. Okay, so Paranormal. And you got two more. This one was I didn't really care for this one as much. Detroit Stories. Maybe I wasn't the Alice Cooper fatigue. I don't know, because he's very productive. Like every 2 years, he's got a new album. Technically, I guess we're due for one this year. Anyway, Alice Cooper, Detroit Stories. These are just rock songs. Nothing wow, nothing original. Just good old-fashioned rock and roll. Okay, it's not bad. It's not great either, but It's a decent album. Okay, Detroit Stories. And last one, this one I enjoyed a lot more than I did Detroit Stories, called Road. And what I like about Alice Cooper is out of nowhere, you're like, because he's done so many albums, you're like, you're not expecting him, and especially at his age. And when it was announced, I'm like, he's got a new album out? Okay, sign me up. Like, I'm sure we're going to hear something soon, hopefully. Um, but yeah, like, Road was actually pretty decent. Again, to me, better, way better than Detroit Stories. And this was actually an album recorded with his current touring band. So yeah, this was 2023. So we're 2025. So technically, I guess if everything. So what I'm trying to get at here is, again, the short answer: no. Does every Alice Cooper album suck after Muscle of Love? No, not even close. Sure, there's some misses, there's some not as original or whatever. But again, I guarantee you that every album, again, this is my opinion, guys, is there's always something good on every album that he's. Oh my God. I don't still have a cold, but my God, the more I talk, I should gurgle with Listerine, but here I am gurgling with Grand Marnier. Wow. Way to go, Dan. But actually, that feels good. Anyway, long story short, to me, all of Alice Cooper is enjoyed as a whole. I would never, and okay, maybe this actually is a reason why I never understood. I didn't, to me, when I started after Trash, when we went all backwards, I didn't know that there was an Alice Cooper band and Alice Cooper solo. To me, it was all one whole thing. So that probably helped me liking everything as a whole as opposed to separating the Alice Cooper band and Alice Cooper solo. But to me, there's some great stuff from both. There's some bad stuff from both also. So again, my to answer my question, does every album suck after Muscle of Love? No. Okay, not even close. Now I'm curious to find out what you guys think. Do you guys separate the Alice Cooper band with Alice Cooper solo? Are you like me, where you grew up not realizing that there was two different bands technically? Um, I don't know. I just find this argument to be. See, I just got an idea. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I just got an idea. I'm like another friggin' thing that causes a lot of. Well, this sucks after. Oh, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, just let me know in the comments, guys. Do you agree with the untold or the unwritten rule of does every album suck after Muscle of Love? To me, it's no, but I'm curious to know what you guys think. Did you guys know about the difference between Alice Cooper Band and Alice Cooper Solo? I didn't until much later. It's probably until I remember when I was buying a lot in the 90s, there was a lot of DVDs, like documentaries you can buy there on CD or DVD, I should say, or VHS even. And Alice Cooper had some great ones, by the way. Um, yeah, I didn't know about the Alice Cooper band versus and the Alice Cooper solo until much, much later. And it was in the 90s when I found that out. So, having said that, yeah, I'm just wondering which camp you're in. Again, no judgment, just out of curiosity. So, there you go. That's my little episode regarding does every Alice Cooper album suck after Muscle of Love? No, they don't. They're great. They're all great. Thank you guys for watching, and we shall see you guys next episode. Take care.